Okay, welcome to my webinar on how to build a profitable NT business. Thank you so much for coming along. It's a very hot, muggy day today, so I appreciate you turning up, although it's nice inside when you've got a bit of fan going on or a bit of aircon if you're lucky. I have run this webinar before. If you've come and if you've attended before, it is very similar, if not the same. I've added a couple of slides, but it is the same thing. But again, you know, when you listen to things before, or if you've listened to something for the first time, sometimes you need to hear it again to kind of really absorb it and get the most from it. So if you have listened to me before doing this, do stick with it, because you will hear things that you probably didn't hear before. And really important, if you can stay till the end, that would be amazing. If you can give it your full attention, to turn off any distractions, get comfy. And if you stay with me to the end, I'm going to show you how to get hold of my PDF the free guide that I've just created on 7 things I'd wish I'd known when I was starting out. So I'll be giving you that at the end. So I'm not totally sure why you signed up to this webinar today, but I'm going to guess that as an NT, you may be in one of 3 places. In the first place, you may be just starting out. So congratulations if you've just qualified. I remember it well. Or if you're still studying, keep going, it'll be fine. And when you're faced with setting up your business and starting out, you may be feeling a little bit like this, because that's certainly how I felt when I first qualified. What on earth to do next, first, whatever, what's the pathway? It's hard to know what to do next, or where to start. So put a 1 in the chat box if you're in this category, if you're just qualified, you're just starting out, or if your first few months, or you're still studying. So let me know roughly if that's you. Or you may have been going for a while as an NT, and you may be seeing clients, but it might feel like it's a lot of effort to find them. And they're not necessarily ideal clients. I've had a few of those too. And it may feel like you're just not really getting much reward for all your efforts. So if that's you, stick a 2 in the chat box and let me know how many of you are at this stage. Or you might actually be doing really well, and things are ticking along nicely, but you just feel something's not quite right. Things could be so much better. You could be making more money. You could be doing or leveraging even seeing less clients and doing more stuff that you like. Put a 3 in the chat box if that's you in that position. So yeah, we've got a couple of 3s, we've got lots of 2s. So yeah, it's a bit of a mixture, but it doesn't matter, because these what I'm going to talk about today applies to everyone. Because wherever you are, I'm guessing that you're here because you're looking to improve things. And the fact that you've made time to watch this either live or on the replay means that you're committed to your business and you really want to make it work for you, because that's all we want to do as NTs, isn't it? So you're in the right place. I've been in all 3 situations myself and I've survived them. So I hope I can shed some light on that and give you some tips from my own experience. We're going to be here for the next 50 to 60 minutes. And obviously I'm not going to be able to tell you in an hour everything I've learned in the last 5 years. So I'll give you as much as I can that I feel is useful. And then if you're interested in learning more, I'll be sharing details of the course that we're launching next week. So if you wanted to find out more about that, that will be at the end. And I'm also going to be around for a Q&A at the end too. So hopefully that's all right. We'll get started. In case you don't know me, so I'm Nikki Williams. I'm ION trained. I qualified in 2014. I've been practicing for 5 years now. I founded Happy Hormones for Life. So, I specialized in hormones pretty much straight away, because I was 47 when I qualified, and I was going through perimenopause myself. So it was something I could relate to. And also because hormones were the biggest area that really fascinated me all through college. I gravitated to all the seminars and lectures and conferences about women's health and hormones. And, mainly because I wanted to sort myself out, but also I found it really interesting as well. Since that time, the business has gone from strength to strength. And last year we hit 6 figures in sales. We're going to be doing way more than that. Well, more than 6 figures, but again, we're growing this year. And there are 4 of us in the team now. I get well paid for speaking, and I'm super grateful that my book is selling well on Amazon. And in January, we launched a digital magazine, Happy Hormones. If you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. It's great. We got loads of really cool contributors in there. And like I said, we're projected to double our turnover in the next 18 months. But this hasn't happened overnight. So my journey has been, obviously, in year one, once I stopped faffing around and got myself a business coach, which I'm going to be talking about, was all about clients. So even though I wanted to do everything all at once, I had to focus on one thing only, and something I'm going to come back to this later. So my one focus was getting client experience and money in the bank, because I couldn't do all those things without making some money first, because they all cost money. That first year, I saw 40 odd clients through my 12-week programs. They were quite a high ticket 12-week programs. That experience was so important to me. I got to know what clients were suffering with, what their biggest pain points were, their language and how they spoke about it, what they responded to, what they were willing to do to help themselves, and what they were willing to pay for. It was the foundation of everything that happened after that. In year two, with some money in the bank, I was then able to create my online course and sales funnel. So that enabled me to get, that's your freebie coming through, and then emails, and build a list. I had some help with it, as I couldn't do it all on my own. But we have now put hundreds of women through the course, and my sales funnel provides me constant leads and builds my list. And I've currently got a list of around 10,000 going through my funnel that provide me regular clients that I don't have to go out and hustle for anymore. And that wasn't always the case, obviously, in the beginning. But what I want to emphasize here is that if I hadn't done the legwork in clinic in that first year, I wouldn't have been able to build the course and do all the other things. So, the focus that I had in that first year enabled me, it was a good foundation. In year three, I published my book. Again, I thought I could do this straight away when I first qualified, because everyone says you must write a book, blah, blah, blah. But I soon realized that I couldn't write about hormones until I'd had that valuable client experience. And also, by the time I came to write the book, I'd also written lots of blogs and other content that I could literally copy and paste into the book. So it was a lot easier to do. So if you're thinking of writing a book one day, you will have to get some, good experience and good content published before you can do that. But not necessarily. You can go straight into writing a book if you want to, but it's just a lot easier that way. But we're not talking about books today. Year four was last year, and last year was the first time I actually paid for a staff member. So some of you may know Lauren Laval. She started off with me as a freelance NT, but she proved herself so invaluable and I gave her so much work that she wasn't actually working for anyone else. So I had to actually employ her in the end, which has been the best decision I've ever made. She's now our client services manager. She looks after the clinic and our freelance NTs that we take on. And it enables me to then step away from that and do lots of other things to build the business. So the other thing that changed in year four was I started to get paid pretty good money for speaking. All my speaking had been free before that, which again is not a bad thing because you want to start off doing that. But once you get to a certain point, you can actually charge pretty good rates for speaking. Year five is, well, the last year has all been about growth, collaborations, and actually this whole NT support. So, I got part of the expansion of Happy Hormones is allowing other NTs to be, or helping other NTs to be successful, because, we can only do so much in our little bubble. If I can help you guys to be more successful and more profitable, then there's more of us out there, and that just helps more people overall. So it's kind of like this ripple effect. So you're all part of my plan. So that's my journey, and you may not want any part of that. It may not be your journey at all, and that's fine, because whatever you decide for your business, you decide. You're the boss. You decide what your journey is going to be, who you're going to work with or collaborate with, who you surround yourself with, what you do on a daily basis, who you say yes to, and most importantly, who you say no to. But to be the boss properly, you need to act like a boss or a successful entrepreneur. And you need to get the right knowledge, tools, and support to make your business profitable. Because without profits, your business is going to die and you're not going to be able to help anyone. All right, so you have to get the right support and tools. And these are the unfortunate facts. businesses in general, 40% of startups fail within the first year, 80% fail before 5 years, and 4% are left at the 10-year mark. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? And these figures are thought to be worse for NTs and other healing professions as such, because we are, we're not as business proficient as some other businesses. So we've got to work a little bit harder at this too. So what are the shifts we need to make to build a successful practice? Firstly, we need to be able to shift from a feeling overwhelmed all the time to feeling laser focused. Now, I know that's an easy thing to say. There's so much information out there on how to grow your business. You need to do everything, don't you? And I myself was trying to do this in my first year too. I didn't know where to start or what to focus on. And in the end, you're on this analysis paralysis roundabout, as I call it, where you're just going round and round because there are so many exits to choose from. You just don't know where to go. And that's when I got my first coach. And one of the main things he taught me was to focus on one thing at a time. There's a great book on this if you want to get it. It's called The One Thing by Gary Keller. It's the pre-reading for my course as well, because it's incredibly useful. It gets you off that roundabout. It gets you focused on the thing that's going to make the biggest impact. And for me at the time was clients. For you, it may be something else. But it's just incredibly simple and kind of like think, well, yeah, I know that. But it's hard to know that when we're bombarded all the time and those bright, shiny objects are flying at us. The next shift is from self-doubt to confidence. So many NTs I meet are lacking confidence. And I think it's the fact that, we're in the healing profession. It seems pretty common among therapists in general. But we do an amazing job and we should be so proud of the work we do. We really transform lives. And, luckily, confidence is something you can work on. And it comes as you practice, doesn't it? So I know at the start, it's very hard to feel confident. But, look at other people and what they're achieving. And get some, once you get that real clarity about what you do and what you do well and what you do for other people, it's your confidence will build. And you can definitely work on confidence. It's not something that you're just, or lack of confidence, it's not something that you're just stuck with. The next shift is from confusion to clarity. And this is a big one because lack of clarity is one of the biggest reasons I see for NTs who are struggling. They are just not clear on their vision, their goals, and what they want for their business, and what they want for the world, what change they want to see in the world. And when that clarity is missing, not only do your clients not see it either because you're not clear, they're not clear. So they're like, oh, I don't know what she stands for. But every decision you make in your business is so hard to make because your path becomes a bit like walking through treacle, and that you're back on that roundabout again because you're not clear on where you're going. So once you've got that clarity, everything becomes more simple. The next shift is to get out of your comfort zone, and this is going to be one of the hardest ones, I think. We need to get out of the shadows and into the spotlight because you need to be visible for your clients to actually see you. This is no time to be shy or to hide behind the laptop or the computer. You have to get out there and be noticed. And that's, can be really scary, I know. I remember doing my first talk. It was only to about 20 people, absolutely terrified. Didn't know whether they'd like it, whether they'd hate it, or whether I'd just freeze on the spot. So I practiced for days. And, I was really nervous, but I filled half the room with my friends and family, which helped. And I got through it. And I got 2 clients from that first talk. I was just ecstatic that it had worked. They actually liked what they heard. So, the confidence then builds. I don't know how many talks I've done now, in the hundreds easily, but I don't practice anymore, but I still get really nervous. I don't think that ever goes away. But, once you've done a few and you've got a few talks under your belt, it's amazing how much better you feel and more confident you feel. And the last shift is around the whole topic of money and sales. Again, another big challenge for many NTs. How many put your hands up, or you just write in the comments, how many of you struggle with that conversation about money? You're brilliant up and, you're telling them all the things they're going to, get from you and your services. And then the money comes and they ask you how much and you kind of freeze. The whole conversation suddenly just feels awkward. Yeah. And, or you have that awkwardness, or you massively undercharge for your services. And I see this everywhere. Massive undercharging. And it doesn't just affect you and your income, but it also affects the client. I'll talk about this in a second. And also the whole profession. The more people undercharge for the services in nutritional therapy, the worse it gets for all of us. So we all need to be charging our worth, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So how do we make these shifts and build a thriving business? Well, I believe we need three things. We need content, so we kind of need a proven system to follow so that you know what works and what doesn't work. That's going to get you there quicker. We need community. We need a support network of like-minded people, so you just don't feel so alone, because it can be a very isolating world. And I believe we also need coaching. And I've had, like I said, a coach from the start. And as soon as I got my first coach, I never looked back. I've always had a coach. I've not had a period in those 5 years where I've not had a coach, because it's been the biggest game changer. It changes everything. A mentor that can guide you, see your potential when you're not feeling it, and keep you accountable and moving forward, because there are a lot of down days. There are, and we all know that. And, you know, a coach or a good coach and mentor will get you through those down days and keep you really focused on your vision. So I'm going to take you through today the content piece of this, and I'll also let you know about how you can get the other 2 C's at the end. So the content piece is all about your business foundations. So I believe, after my years of experience, I believe there's a success model that you need to follow, and it's based on these 3 foundations. I'm sure you've heard me talk about this before. Attract, engage, and deliver. So attract is the clarity piece, being super clear on your big vision, your values, your niche, your ideal client, and your message, so that you can attract the right clients over and over again. So you don't have to go out and find them or hustle for them. They're just going to come to you because you're super clear and they know what you're about. Okay. Engage is where you start engaging these clients to work with you, to convert into paying clients. So that's all about, you know, get the right marketing, the right packaging, the right pricing, and being able to sell really well without that awkwardness. Yeah. And you can do that through talks, webinars, one-to-one conversations, whatever that whatever that means for you, but we're going to come to that as well. And deliver is about delivering your programs in a way that clients feel pretty wowed by that. They get the results that they've signed up for without you burning out, because that is absolutely no good if you're working all the hours and not getting paid enough, and also just getting to the burnout stage, because it happens so often. And in the middle of this, you've got the you bit, which is you, your mindset, your values, your attitude, your behaviors, your beliefs. And the you bit is the glue that holds all this together. And it's so important, because without this mindset piece, the whole model falls apart. So you can know what to do, but if your mind's not there, if you haven't got the success mindset, it's not going to work for you. So there are 9 steps within the model that I'm going to give you a quick overview. First part of your business foundation is attracting your ideal. So the attract piece is attracting your ideal clients to work with you. So if you don't do the work here, you're going to find it tricky to get the right clients coming to you on a consistent basis. So this part of the model involves being really clear on your values and your vision. So why you're in this, what's guiding you and your decisions, your market and message. So what fields to specialize in, who you want to work with, and how you're going to talk to them. And building your brand, so your business identity, the look, feel, and communication of your name, your website, and your social media platforms, because everything's got to be consistent with the other 2 things. All of that is one of we start with this because doing the other pieces won't be very effective if you're not clear on this part of the model. I see a lot of NTs that come straight out of college and they go and build the website. Absolutely not the wrong way round, because is there any mention of website on here? Well, we've got a website in the building your brand, but you have to do the first 2 bits first, because you don't know what shop window to create if you don't know who you're trying to sell to. You've got to be super clear before you build the website. So yes, websites can be changed. That's a good thing. And when people go through the course, we end up sort of tweaking and changing things on the website so that it converts, because there's no point having a really beautiful flash website if nobody sees it and nobody gets what you're doing. Absolutely no point. It's just a complete waste of money. So we We want to build a website that converts, not before you've done those first 2 modules, which are super important, okay? So I'm going to go through the 3. So the vision and values. Again, this is one that new business owners often miss, but it's absolutely fundamental. First thing you need to be aware of is your inner critics. Those voices in your head that tell you you're not good enough, you're not worth it, you're not likable, no one's going to buy from you, you're never going to be a success. Who the hell do you think you are? All those voices, right? We've all got them. You're not alone if you recognize any of those voices. But the thing is to recognize which ones kind of come up the most for you, and maybe there may be something behind that where that's come from. I don't think that ever goes away because I still get them, but and I've done a lot of work on this. But it's really, really important. Once you're aware of it, you can then learn how to master them so they don't stop you moving forward. Because this is what the inner voices do, the inner critics. They stop you progressing. And that's what we've got to get on top of. And then we need to get really clear on your big vision, your why. This is your grounding. This is your reason for doing all this in the first place. There's 2 parts to this. One is your big vision for kind of what do you want to change in the world? What is your reason for being here and doing nutrition in the first place? And, what do you want to build in your business? So you've got to be quite specific about this, because when you're really clear, the universe, I'm going to be woo-woo, but the universe gets the message. You have a destination. It's like a sat nav. You put the destination in, it knows how to get you there. You put the destination into the world, into yourself, you will have a pathway to follow, and it'll be so much easier. Yeah, and your values, what do you stand for? What are your key values? Because if you know that, it's going to make your decisions easier. So when you've got that yes, no decision, you think about your values, and it's going to be so much, and your vision, and it's going to be a no-brainer which way you go. You get off that roundabout and down the right path. Step 2 is the market and message. So who you're going to help and how you're going to communicate it. So you need to identify your niche, your ideal client, your own story, and your message. Nailing your market like this will enable you to really easily attract the right clients that want to work with you, that know they're going to get results from you, and ensure that you are doing the work you love rather than working with a client on gut when you're not really into that, or I don't know, eating disorders. I'm just picking stuff out of random, or children, or something that you think, oh, I'm not really sure, it's not really my thing, but I'm going to take them anyway because they're clients. You can start to really just do the work you love to do. So, and that's really, really important. Step 3 is about your brand. So your brand is your identity. It has to align with your vision, your values, and your message. So that's why we do that work before. Once you have a clear brand identity, you can then build a website that converts, like I mentioned. And your social media setup as well. It needs to all fit together. Otherwise, people are going to think, well, she's over there and she's there, but that doesn't really look right. It's not consistent. And, you need to be saying the same things all across all your platforms. The second part of your foundations is engage. And this is about converting those lovely ideal clients that you've attracted into paying clients. So this is how you're going to market yourself. Now, marketing, there are a million ways you can do marketing, and it can be very overwhelming. And I see people trying to do everything. You don't have to do them all, but you can choose your preferred way of marketing and get really, really consistent with it. And your preferred way will depend on lots of things, whether you're a good writer, you like to video, you are particularly good on a certain social media platform. But it will also be where your ideal clients are hanging out as well. So those 2 go together. We're talking about products and pricing as well. So how you're packaging up your services. The old model we know is dying, the one-to-one single hours plus a follow-up. Nobody should be doing that anymore. We should be selling packages. And, even the 1, 2 or 3 consultation packages are really not doing it now for many people, because they're not enough money for people to really commit to the work. And yet they're still quite time consuming for you. So, getting a really good high paying package, especially as at the beginning, well, at any stage actually, but getting a good high paying package is going to allow you to work less and earn more. And that's what packages do. And the less choice, the better here. I've talked about this in the group already. Um, I would, unless you have done, or if you've been in business for quite some years and you've got a really sort of good client base, I would be doing one key package and really focusing on selling that really well and selling and delivering it brilliantly. So you get raving fans at the end who are referring you. And it's an easy sell because you've just got the one package. And it's clear as well. It's, you know, they can either do it or they don't do it. So you get a yes or a no. Pricing is absolutely key. You do not want to undervalue what you do, which tends to happen to most of us. And, you know, I found the more clients invest, the better their results. That's just the kind of way it works. And again, go watch my little video on packages and pricing that I did in the group. It's still up there. If you search my name in the group, you'll see that one. Again, we've got our pocket packages and pricing all set up. Once we've done that, we now need to go and sell it. And, you know, it can be a tricky one to sell something, especially if it's a high price package. But it can be done in such a natural and easy way. And this is what we teach in the course, a very easy way to switch between you talking about the benefits of what they're going to get and then into the pricing. And it's a kind of, you know, you got to get away from the whole sales is taking. It's actually, when you have that sales conversation, you're giving the client a really good opportunity to get better and get well. It's a gift rather than like thinking of it as taking. And it's a partnership as well. They're paying for you to help them get better and do the work. And it's a very natural process. And, you know, all you have to do is work out, you know, the script you're using and how you're going to deliver that in a call or a one-to-one conversation or a talk. And we go through all of that in the course. Step 4. So I'm going to go through each of these. I've talked loads about that now, and I'm probably going to, yeah. Anyway, step 4 is all about being a super ninja marketer. So like I said, you've got tons of marketing options. And these are some of them. So you've got the offline marketing, which is kind of networking, so in person, face-to-face networking, one-to-one conversations, people in the street, we're in a cafe, we're a shop. Believe me, I've had a few of those. You've got talks that you might be giving, that's offline, and of course referrals. And then you've got online marketing, which is everything online. So that's your social media, your blogs, your vlogs, your webinars, emails, building a list, all of that stuff. Now, we also look at the signature system. So this is, you know, this is your IP, your intellectual property. This is something that you can create that for your niche and your topic, that is a great way to get really clear on your content and how you do things, how you get from the pain to the result. And once you have a signature system, it's just incredibly useful. First of all, it's yours. No one else can steal it if they want, but it's your one. If you have a system, you know, I have my 4 steps, my happy hormone code, my 4 steps to happy hormones. That's mine. And I use that everywhere. So I use it in my free guide. I use it in my videos. I use it in my webinars. I use it in my talks, because it's everything that I do in a sort of, and that I've packaged up into a system, and it's mine, and it's actually the basis of my book as well. So it makes everything really easy when you can show a little system or a diagram or a model to your clients about how you get to the result, or, you know, how you get them from pain to result. And the last one is consistent content. Now, I've really struggled with being consistent for a long time, right from the beginning, because, you know, writing an assignment or a blog right in the beginning was just like an assignment for me. Coming out of college, I'm like, I don't want to write anymore. Oh my God, I've got to find references, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't do it very often. It was just overwhelming. So, you know, in the end, I found out where my ideal clients were hanging out. For me, that was Facebook. It might be different for you. And I've really focused on being all over Facebook. I'm sorry if you see me all over Facebook, but it's the way that is my marketing system. So I now do a Facebook video pretty much every single week, which then gets repurposed. So it's no longer a chore, it's no longer difficult, and it's very consistent, and we do planning for that. Step 5 is about packages and pricing. So how are you going to package your services so that A, your clients get the best results, B, you get paid your worth, really important, and C, it's easy to explain to the client and easy for the client to say, yes, this is what I want. So it is a bit of a struggle for some of us. We're such a kind-hearted lot that we don't really want to charge anything for helping people, even though, you know, we've paid a damn lot of money for our training. So we've got to change that mindset. Your knowledge is worth an absolute fortune. We change lives, and that is priceless. And we have to charge for that. Because if we don't charge enough, we're not going to be around, and then people just don't get helped. So it's all about that. We cover money mindset as well, because a lot of our beliefs about money and our awkwardness around talking about money and asking for it come from beliefs that we got growing up, or things that have happened to us in our own experiences. And these beliefs can really sabotage us when we're trying to build our own businesses and trying to make some money from that. So it's really important to work on these beliefs and be aware of them, so that we can get them out of the way and not let it stop us growing and making money in our businesses. Oops. Okay. So step 6 is about sales. Yeah. So we have to know how to sell. It's probably the most valuable piece of this, because if you can't sell, you're not going to have any clients, and then you're just going to go and get a job and not do this valuable work which you trained really hard for. So it's basically it's not a question of persuading someone to buy your stuff or work with you. It's about communicating what you do that makes it just a no-brainer for them to sign up and work with you. So when to sell is important. So we've got, you know, different avenues, offline and online, but the key here is where you're always in a potential sales conversation. Because either whether you're talking one-to-one or you're talking in a Facebook group or whatever, you're in a sales conversation, and whether you're overtly selling or not, you're there because you have something to offer. Communicating your value is absolutely key. So when you're explaining your package or your service or how you work, you've got to really focus on the benefits and not the features. So we all love talking about, you know, my 12-week program is the one I sold first of all. Oh my goodness, you get weekly sessions with me. I'm there. You get unlimited email. I know I gave away way too much at the beginning, but you know, I was so caught up in what I was offering, and the number of consultations and the number of calls and the number of whatever, that they don't really care about any of that stuff. They just want to know that you can help them. So you've got to focus on the benefits. What are they going to get at the end of that 12 weeks? How are they going to feel? What's going to be different for them? What is it going to enable them to do in their lives or be? Because if you can't communicate that, they're not going to get it. They're just going to see features, and it's not going to be enough for them to commit to the work and commit and invest in themselves. So it's really, really important we get away from features. In fact, you know, really, when I'm in a discovery call, I don't talk about what they get in the program until very much at the end. They're pretty much signed up, and before I even speak about what they're going to get, pretty much, because it's the result that they're interested in, not how you get there. Discovery calls work the best for us to convert clients. Our service is very personal, isn't it? You know, they're not going to know, like, and trust you looking at your website. So putting your high value package on your website with all your features, that's all I see on websites is, this is at my 12-week program, this is what you get, and this is how much it costs. Now, if I would, and I've seen this happen many, many times, I doubt very much whether anyone with a high package, say a £1,500 12-week program, is ever going to sell that off your website. I mean, please correct me if you've had a sale, that kind of sale, straight off your website from somebody you didn't know, because I actually have never seen that happen. So putting that kind of stuff on your website is going to kill it, basically. They're going to go somewhere else because they're going to look at the price, they're going to look at your features, and they're not going to get the value that you're offering. So the only way you can sell your packages is through conversations, whether that's a call, a Zoom call, a one-to-one, a meeting, or whatever that works for you. But you can also sell it through webinars as well. Although, you know, the higher the price, the harder that's going to be. But discovery calls, you know, you want to talk to them because you cannot convey the value through a web page. So take prices off your websites if you've got them on there. That's really, really, you're not going to sell that. just get on there, you know, talk to me. These are the things that I can help you with, and book a call. And then do the rest of your marketing through blogs, through social media, and the rest of that, and talks and webinars. So talks and webinars are really great sales opportunities. So I also see a lot of NTs doing a great talk, but there's no call to action at the end of it. There's no selling. You've just done a really lovely informative talk, which is great, but you need to have an action associated with that, and a structure that gets you to the call to action, which is then everybody wants to speak to you at the end. Yeah, that's how a talk should be. And I've got a particular structure that I teach in the program that works really well. So the final part is delivering. And for this is just all about successful delivery of your program. So, you know, you've done the attracting, they're working with you, you've got to wow them, you've got to produce the results. And it can be hard. So we want to track the journey of the client. We want to make it the best experience that it can be right from the start. You need systems and tools that are absolutely vital to help you deliver those programs. And now I've tried most of all the systems and tools out there, so I know exactly which ones are great and which ones are not worth money. The point of the systems and tools is that you get really you get your processes sorted out so that it saves you time and money and energy, so that you can then focus on getting in clients, delivering, getting the next client, delivering. Because if you're spending all your time doing admin and working out invoicing and all that stuff, you need help with that, because that is not a good use of your time to grow your business. And the last piece of the puzzle, module 9, is success mindset. So this is that you piece that stuck everything together, the gluey bit. And this is about, you know, keeping the faith when things look really bad. Like you've had a really bad month, or you know, something hasn't worked, and you just think, oh, is it really worth it? And those inner critics are going crazy in your head, going, you know, you're never going to make this work, and all of that stuff. We've all been there. But to keep that mindset going and to go, yes, I've got my goal, I've got my vision, this is what I want. It is going to be a journey like this. It always is. It's for everybody like that. So you've just got to get the techniques that really, really help you on that journey. And part of that is the support network and having a mentor and a coach. But part of it is actually just knowing what to do when things like that happen, getting some rituals in, knowing, you know, how to deal with kind of failure, how to be super productive so that when you don't get something done, you're not hurting the business. And of course, self-care, absolute key part of it. No good if you're working so hard that you just end up burning out, because then, you know, you're no good. You might as well give up from the start. So we do not want to be burning out. We want to be looking after ourselves. And that is all about boundaries, rituals, changing your state, being really clear about saying no. A lot of us don't do that. As women, we're rubbish at that, aren't we? But those self-care pieces are just as important as every single thing else. So yeah, so I've kind of gone through this again, but the program delivery, so your experience, your client experience, compliance, how to get the best out of your clients, retention, basically how to keep them on after the program and keep checking in with them, and maybe there's something that they want to buy, because once you've got a customer, you've got a customer for life, hopefully. And referrals and testimonials. You want your clients to go through your program and be raving fans for you, and they'll be out like little sales ambassadors telling everybody about you. The systems and tools I mentioned, so client management tools, the legals, the data protection, all the things that you need, admin software that really helps you get through the admin, marketing tools, CRM is customer relationship management system, which is the one that builds your list, so things like MailChimp, but there's a lot of others out there. But you know, how to get that working for you so that you can start to build relationships and start to build that sales funnel, the one that, you know, brings in constant leads so that you're not out there having to find clients all the time. And of course, good accounting practices, because you need a very good accountant, and you need to know, how to manage your money. And yeah, last bit, success mindset. I think I've kind of gone through most of that. Again, you know, I've had to work on my mindset consistently since I started out. It was one of the things, you know, that spurred me on originally was, you know, being told that I'd never make any money doing this job. So, you know, I had that sort of mindset of, no, that's not happening. I'm going to prove them wrong. But also, you know, I had a lot of ups and downs along the way. So I've had a lot, and I've had blocks and limiting beliefs like everybody else. So I've done a lot of personal development and mindset stuff. Because, you know, I find that all gets in the way. And if you don't work on that stuff, you can't move forward and, you know, achieve the goals that you want. So it's not, you know, I still work on my mindset all the time. So, you know, it's one of those, I'm work in progress like everybody. And there's always stuff to do. There's always something wrong. But it's all good. It's all good, because the more you do, the more aware, the more you can cope with everything. So how do we implement the model in the right way? Well, like I said, there's 3 key things you need to get these foundations in place. I've gone through the content, and which is basically, you know, the 9 steps. And this is all those 9 steps were based on my own personal mistakes and my own personal successes. So I found that they've worked the best in the whole, in my whole experience. So if you get these foundations in place, you'll be able to start attracting your ideal clients, getting them into your packages, and delivering them amazing programs to keep them coming back and raving about you without burning out. Community. Now, this business can be very lonely. You're often stuck at home behind your computer. You need a community that understands this job and is with you trying to reach the same goals, and that can really support you through this journey. I didn't have this for a really long time, and I felt really isolated many times. I used to go up to my local cafe and just sit there for a bit and look around and go, oh no, all these people are lonely too. And as soon as I got a community that were trying to reach the same goals as I was, it made a huge difference. And that's not just a support group, you know, like a Facebook group or whatever. You need people that are in the game with you. And I've just found that like it just really made a huge difference to me. And coaching, I've talked about coaching. I still talk about it a lot. I have to say it's the biggest factor in the success of my business, and I definitely wouldn't be here without it. I've not had a coach all the way through. You can build a business on your own, but I found when I've looked around at other successful entrepreneurs and business owners, none of them have done it on their own. It's just really tough. The more guidance, the more support you have from someone who knows what they're talking about, or they've done it themselves, or someone you like to model, or whatever it is for you, just get guidance, follow someone that you want to follow, and who understands your struggles and how to overcome them. And it's like you find a decent coach or a good mentor, and it's like gold dust. So if you're feeling a bit stuck, so you're not really sure which path to take or what to do to make more money in your business, or you're a bit scared to do something that might not work, or that might make you more visible, or you're just tired of trying things that don't work, or tired of working too hard for not much reward, or you're frustrated that you're playing small when you know you have more to give, and that's most of you. If you're on this call, you're probably already aware that you're playing too small, and you've got potential is huge. You're just not quite sure how to reach it. So you've got a couple of options. You can stay as you are, and when we do that, not much changes, or you can commit to getting the help you need right now. Now, when I was asked to deliver a 3rd year lecture last year on female hormone testing back at ION, I really enjoyed doing the lecture, but afterwards I got a load of students come up to me and not ask me about the lecture at all. They didn't want to ask about the testing. They wanted to ask about how I'd become so successful in business. And it made me realize that there were so many people asking for help that I had to start to help NTs. And it's something it's been at the back of my mind all the way through this, that I wanted to create something to help other NTs, because that's the way we reach more people, and that's, it's as simple as that. So I wanted to create something that would incorporate the 3 C's that I've talked about and help other NTs have similar successes. So this is my NTBA Foundation program. I've run it twice. This is the next week is the start of the 3rd one I've run. I only do it twice a year, September and January, so that I can focus on my own business in between. but I absolutely love running it. So I think next year I may even run it all year round, but we'll see on that one. It's not available at the moment. So it's a 12-week online course with the content, community and coaching you need to build a profitable business that you love. Simple as that. It's based on the 9 steps that I've covered. So those 3 big areas, the attract, engage, deliver. So we work together to get each of these foundations in place in your business so that you can attract your ideal clients, you can engage with them, and you can deliver great stuff without burning yourself out. And when you have this in place, you can build a business that you love, and a business that pays you your worth. So you want to keep doing it. So by the end of the program, you're going to know what inner critics hold you back and how to override them, because they're different for everybody. You're going to have total clarity on your vision, values, and market. So you know exactly who you're targeting. You're going to know how to compellingly talk about what you do simply and clearly. Now that might seem kind of obvious, but oh my goodness, we really struggle to do that, to talk about what we do in a really succinct way that kind of gets people interested. You start mentioning nutritional therapy, eyes glaze over, they run a mile, don't they? So we've got to change the way we talk about what we do. You're going to be really clear about your brand and your brand identity. You're going to know how to make your website convert, because you know, having a lovely, beautiful website is lovely. You can show people how lovely it is. If they're not coming to the website and they're not staying, like the average click away is what, 3 seconds, then you're not going to get any clients from it. You're going to know how to have a consistent marketing strategy that reaches and speaks to your ideal client. So when they see what you're saying and the way you're marketing, they're going to know exactly what you're about and that you're the one that can help them. You're going to have created a powerful package that gets really good results for your clients and pays you what you're worth. You're going to be totally comfortable selling your package at a price that truly reflects your value. You're going to know which systems and tools will make delivering your service easy and pain-free. You're going to have a success mindset that will keep you going no matter what. Now, we may, that may be, like I said, work in progress. You're going to have the basics of it and the foundations of it so that you're going to know how to deal with things that don't necessarily go your way. And we're going to have a clear self-care strategy in place to keep you happy and well, because that's incredibly important. Well, it's vital. Now, seriously, there's nothing special about me. I haven't had any access to celebrities or expensive technology or any insider knowledge on any of this. I had no business training at all when I started. So if I can do this, you absolutely can do this. And a whole lot faster and less messier than I did, because I can teach you what works and what doesn't work, so you can avoid some of the mistakes I made, which were quite a few. So here's the features, that I talked about. So what you get the 9 online modules covering the 9 steps that we've just talked about, delivered over 12 weeks now. I'm delivering them live every couple of weeks because I still like to do them live because I still want to get your feedback and I want to get the interaction, and I like to have your questions at the end if you have any on that particular subject. On top of that, we've got the group mentoring calls. We run 6 of those where you come in and, it's usually a small group that are on the call, so I can talk to you and give you personal coaching on anything that you're stuck on or you're struggling with, for instance, any of the topics that you're not quite sure of or how it applies to your business, or if you just want to get feedback on something that you've written or you're thinking about for your business. You get online support in the private Facebook group. Sounds kind of, oh yeah, you get Facebook group. This Facebook group is like no other Facebook group. Seriously, we've got, you're all going to be in there striving for the same objectives, and you're going to be at different levels of your business. I get that. But, getting these foundations in place is the most important thing. And just to get help, the Facebook group is so supportive. It's really shocked me how supportive it is. And I'm getting so much back from it as well. So I absolutely love our little community. We also have a membership community afterwards. So you can do the 12 weeks on its own and learn enough to be absolutely fine. Or you can join the monthly membership that I run. It's a really small fee, and we stay in the group and we carry on learning off each other, and we're implementing it as well, because necessarily do everything in 12 weeks unless you're going to be a really fast action taker and do the whole lot. But, you know, life gets in the way. We have other commitments. So it's really hard to do everything in 12 weeks. So we do not leave you hanging. We have a membership group that we can continue in and continue to get the support and the coaching from me all the way through for as long as you're in it. So you can cancel at any time. And in this is the first time, well, no, I've done workshops in the last 2 courses actually, but they were optional extras. Now I've included the workshop because I really felt that it was truly valuable. So if you sign up for the course and you can come to London on the 29th of November for a 1-day workshop, it is phenomenal. We go over everything that we've learned, but in a way that, you know, everybody applies it to their own businesses, and we spend the day planning, and it's amazing. So we get really clear on our vision, what we're after, and then we have a quarter full of actions and steps that we're going to get us there towards our goals. It's just a very, very powerful day. And the best thing about it is we're meeting each other after just only being online. So we see each other in these little boxes on Zoom, and then we all meet up and go, oh, you're taller than I thought. Oh, no, you're short. All of that stuff. And I absolutely love that meetup. It's brilliant. So it's just a really nice way to wrap things up and get planning for the future. So the program dates are the 5th of September, we kick off, which is next Thursday. And the last day is the live workshop on the 29th. Now, all the sessions are run on a Tuesday or a Thursday lunchtime, 12:30, but they're all recorded. So if you miss any, it's absolutely fine. They get uploaded into the group the same day pretty much. So you won't miss out by not attending live. Registrations, we're closing on the night before, 4th September. But I would say don't leave it till then, because there is a little bit of prep reading to do to get the most out of the course. If you can possibly join before that, you're going to get more. You're going to get all the dates as well, and you'll get a couple of books that I really recommend you dip into before we start the course. So cost is one payment. So if you can pay up front and in full, it's £690. If not, you can pay in installments. We have a monthly payment of £230 for over 3 months. Now, if you pay up front, the bonus is a 30-minute coaching call with me where we can sort of really go deep on any particular area you're struggling on, or an area that you wanted to go deeper into the course that maybe I hadn't gone deep enough into for you, or whatever, a challenge that we can work on, or feedback, we can write stuff together that you need to write, or whatever it is. 30 minutes, you can take that throughout the program, at the end, beginning, whatever you like. So that is completely up to you if you wanted to pay in full. So there are lots of courses out there, business courses out there. Why is this one different? I'm an NT myself, so I've been exactly where you are. So I know firsthand what your challenges are and how to overcome them. I've built a 6-figure business myself. Most business coaches out there are coaching and they haven't done it themselves. I can guarantee you that. I know lots of them. Through trial and error, I know what works and what doesn't work. Believe me, I've failed enough times. So hopefully save you time and money on the wrong things. I've invested heavily in business training. I've spent thousands over the last 5 years to get the training that I need. Like I mentioned, my first coach that cost me $3,000 for 12 weeks. It was a massive amount of money for me back then. I'd only just qualified. So I'd only just spent, the 20 grand that we spend on our qualifications. So it was a huge, big amount of money for me. But I knew that I had to do it because I was stuck. And, he sounded like he knew what he was doing. He'd done it himself, not in NT, but he was a guy. Now, that's the money that I'd invested with him, I'd earned back within the 12 weeks. And that's what you're going to be doing in this course as well. But the time you've sold your first package, which hopefully will be in if you do the work, you'll do that within the 12 weeks, it'll pay back the course. So it's return on investment, and it's the reason I invest in coaching all the time, because it always pays back. And of course, personal motivation. I'm very, very passionate about seeing NTs being successful, because I want to change the mindset and the traditional message that this is some kind of hobby job and it's not a proper business model. It is a proper business model. and it should be treated like that. So, and there's no reason you can't make really good money doing this if you want to make a career doing this, because that's what I'm doing. And if I can do it, like I said, you can too. This is Claudia. She graduated, or she finished the course this April. She wrote me a lovely little paragraph. Actually, she didn't write it for me. She wrote it in the Facebook group or something. I think she wrote it on social media. So I grabbed it. Nikki's NTBA course is absolutely amazing. I'm now attracting the right kind of clients, working in the niche I love, and I'm starting to earn a proper income from it. I can highly recommend it. She's doing really well in her niche of depression, which at first she couldn't work out how to make that work, but she's really doing well in that now. I am now going to invite you to ask me any questions on absolutely anything. Oh, Karen has actually just asked me what the book was again that I mentioned. So that was the one thing. I'll write it in the chat, Karen. It's actually one of the books that I recommend for pre-reading for the course, because it just saves me having to teach everything that's in there. But we refer to it quite a lot, so it's a really good book for that. Louise, if you're still here, are you here? I want to know, I know I want to work as an NT, but can't find my passion within NT. Louise, that's a really common one. We spend quite a bit of time on niching if you haven't got one already. If you have and you know what you're doing, that's great. You can move on. But it's okay. There's two ways that we find our niche. One is we find a niche within nutrition. So that can be hormones or gut or stress or whatever it is that you want to niche in. Or we can niche in our client base. So you can go general nutrition in the city, or for stressed out CEOs, or for mums, or for menopause or women, whatever. So you can niche in either of those areas. So people or subject, and you can niche in both. So we're all about hormones for the over 40s. So we kind of do a bit of both. But it doesn't mean that you will only ever work in that area. It just means that you have to be able to niche to target to your message. You can't be a generalist anymore. No one's going to find you, and they're not going to understand what you stand for. So when you niche, you can then bring them in that way. And of course, we all know that a menopausal woman coming to see you is going to have gut issues or stress issues or immune system. It's all linked, isn't it? So we're not just going to work with the niche we choose, but it just makes it so much easier to get clients based on that. Lottie's asking, hey Lottie, are two niches possible? There are two areas I love, female hormones and mental health, and I'd struggle to let one go. So my previous comment works for that too, Lottie. You can choose one, and then you will get a ton of female hormone clients with mental health issues, or you will get mental health clients with hormone issues. They just go together anyway. So they'll always come together, but you kind of do need to choose. You could specialize in hormonal mental health, but it's just a really hard one to sell. It's a bit, we could talk about it, but it might be too niche. But Claudia's specialized in depression. She's obviously, with that, she's looking at hormones, gut, nutrients, everything. So it's something that we'll dig down and deeper and find out exactly what you're really wanting to do. Are there too many people focusing on menopausal women? No, there's a lot, but there's never enough, because how many menopausal women are out there still having no clue about natural solutions? There's millions. There's enough menopausal women for us all, so don't worry about that. The fact that we're so busy is tantamount to that. Is proof of that, should I say. Oh, someone was asking about the program, how much they're worried about, how much time it will take. So they're really busy, or only have evenings, weekends, she said. So like I said, you can go at your own pace in the program. So everything is recorded. So if you can't keep up, it's not a problem. But, you know, I would say if you're truly committed to building a business that you love, you do need to carve out some time to work on the modules, because, you know, it's not all going to be presented to you. You have to do some work in the gaps between the modules. You know, you'll need to carve out a bit of time for that. Not all modules will take very long. You know, listing your values is not going to take more than half an hour at most. But, you know, creating your website is going to be a little bit of work, and your message, etc. It just needs a bit of thinking, a bit of thinking time. So if you can carve that out while you're over the 12 weeks, you're going to be absolutely fine. And you don't have to do it in 12 weeks, obviously. It's going to be, you'll have access to it for life, or everything will be downloadable for you, so you can do it whenever you want. I'm still studying. Should I wait till I qualify? Really good question, whoever that was. I don't have a name. I would say not. No, I started my business training in my second year at ION because I realized that I was going to need some help. So I started going to conferences and doing little courses here and there. It wasn't enough for me, but I'm really glad I started it in my second year. So by the time I qualified, I had a base. I still needed a coach, but I had a base to work from, a niche sorted out, a message. I had a basic website as well. So don't wait is what I'd say. Don't wait. Do it while you're studying, and then you can hit the ground running when you qualify. Trish says, what is the total time commitment? I'm also working on a book. Woohoo! So the timing is perfect. Fantastic, Trish. I can certainly help you with the book writing as well if you need any support or coaching on that. Total time commitment. It's impossible to say. I don't know what stage your business is at. I don't know what you need to do in terms of the foundations, because everyone's going to be at a slightly different stage. So yeah, really hard to know what you're going to need to do. So sorry. If you want to book a call with me, we can do that. If you're not sure, on the page, the NTBA Foundation page here, which isn't working at the moment for some reason. Oh yes, it is. If you scroll down to the bottom, there's a click to book a call option. If you want to discuss anything with me in terms of whether it's right for you, or if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to book a call and talk you through it and see if it's the right thing for you to do right now. Okay, I think that was it for questions. I hope you got some value from that. And like I said, any questions, you can email me or just click to book a call. And hopefully we'll see you soon. Take care, everyone. Have a great, where are we? Tuesday.